Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shasko, and in today's video I wanted to show off some of my favorite heavenly restriction builds within Legends ReWritten. Let's get right into it. So obviously for a heavenly restriction melee build, the first thing you're going to need to do is go to your magic and roll for the heavenly restriction. So basically what this does is it increases attack and range damage by 350%, running speed by 75%, you get a no-hit stun, and it nullifies counter damage. In exchange, your magic damage is 60% less and costs 3.5 times more mana. The first build we're going to show off is of course the Toji Heavenly Spear build. So for this build, the gear you're going to want is the Heavenly Spear, which comes from Toji, and then you're also going to need the Curse Worm, which also comes from Toji. Curse Worm is needed because this unlocks the Heaven Spear's V-Spec, which is basically the only reason why it's very good. Now for your actual armor, this is up to you, but I like using the Rotted Knight helmet because it gives the most health in the game with good mana, and then I like using the Maharaga plate over the Rotted Knight chest piece. Really up to you with that one. And then the leg plates, I'm using the Rotted Knight leg plates over the Maharaga pants. Again, it doesn't really matter. You could use full Rotted, you could use full Maharaga, and then if you do that, you're gonna get around 7.9k health to 8,000-ish, and I'm rocking about 2,600 mana, which is absolutely plenty for this build. It's just so much health. But anyways, the one thing you will want for magic, and the literal only magic thing you're gonna need, is gum, because gear 2 is so good with every single melee build. It is pretty much crucial for every build in this video. You really want it. So anyways, this build, all you're gonna want to do is obviously use your Heavenly Restriction and your gear 2. And then you use the V-Spec from the Heavenly Spear, and then you're gonna shred literally everything. The V-Spec actually makes this technically a ranged weapon, even though the range isn't massive on it. But you do a crazy amount of damage with this weapon alone, and what I really like about this build is you can run around very, very quickly with the Heavenly Restriction, and it's just very easy to use, and it's also nice to use because you're not, spamming 1,000 buttons at once, using all your magic attacks, doing this and that. So the next build I want to show off is the Maharaga Divine Blade build. So for this build, you are going to want to use the entire full Maharaga set, so hat, chest, and pants with the Divine Wheel as well. All of these come from the Divine General in World 2, and then you're also going to want to use obviously the Divine Blade. Reason why you want to use the full Maharaga set is all of them will give a 10% Divine Blade magic damage buff, which is really, really good, and then the Divine Wheel is just one of the best, if not the best, neck piece in the entire game. So this setup is very, very good, very similar to the other one, except obviously you don't need anything to unlock its V-Spec. So that way you can just use the Divine Wheel instead. So with this build, you're getting 7.6 thousand health with 3,700 mana, which is really, really good. You're getting a bit less health, but that is okay. And again, you're just going to want to use Heavenly Restriction, and then you're also going to want to be using Gear 2. And this just becomes a crazy build. In my opinion, you're going to be doing a little bit less melee damage with this build than the Heavenly Spear, but you're getting a lot more mana with it, so it's a little bit easier to use in my opinion, but you're not even doing that much less damage. Like, only a little bit less damage. And maybe the one downside is you do need to be even closer range with this than you do with the Heavenly Spear, because technically the Heavenly Spear becomes a bit more of a ranged weapon and does have some pretty solid range on it. So now let's get into the next build. So for this one, every single item is limited, so it's very hard to get this build, but you're going to want to be using the fish mask, the fish shirt, and the fish shorts with the fish dagger. And if you have it, you want to use the Toji Flash Step spec with this as well. And then I would definitely recommend using either the Divine Wheel as your neck piece, or maybe using the Curse Worm for those buffs, but the Divine Wheel in my opinion is a bit better for healing. If you use this setup, you get about 7,000 health with about 4,500 mana, which is absolutely crazy. But the reason why this build is unreal is because the fish daggers have an unbelievable amount of damage on them. For whatever reason, they do 437 damage. Now, they say one-handed, but you actually cannot dual-wield these fish, even if you have two of them. I have multiple, I've tried, you just can't dual-wield them for anything. But if you combo this with the Flash Step, this does unreal amounts of damage. It's definitely like obviously a gag build and a comedy build, like it's just very silly and stupid, but it does so much damage. That's the thing. It's easily one of the best builds in the game. And then before I move on, I of course have to mention the Pro Samurai Sword with this build as well. The fish daggers are a lot of fun, but the Pro Samurai Sword is the absolute best heavenly restriction build in the game, more or less. This is also very limited. It came from the same limited event, and as you guys can see, you basically can just spam and attack wherever your cursor is as fast as you can click, and its V-spec is like the same thing. You just do stupid damage with this. With Heavenly Restriction and Gear 2, you can shred any enemy. Just stand far away and spam this, and you're gonna do a ton of damage. I don't know if it's that much better than Fish Daggers. Both of these are very effective, so really use whatever one you want. So the final build of this video is the most inaccessible build I've showed off today, so that's why we're showing it off last. But anyways, for the final build of the video, you have to have the Vanity Armor Game Pass. So if you have the Vanity Armor Game Pass, what you're going to want to do on the side that has the Vanity text, you're going to want to use the Rotten Knight helmet with the Maharaga chest piece, with the Rotten Knight leg plates, and then the Curse Worm neck piece. Now you could use full Maharaga or full Rotted, it doesn't really matter, you just really want the Curse Worm neck piece. And then on the other side, what you're going to want to be using is the Santa skirt, Santa robe, and the Santa hat with the Divine Wheel. The reason why you're using the Santa gear is because it gives a 7% Sakura Blade V2 damage buff. While you may not be able to get extra stats from the Santa gear, you are able to get your buffs still applied on the Vanity side, which is why the Vanity Game Pass is a little pay to win, but also not super pay to win because it's not that game breaking. Anyways, obviously with this build, what you're going to want to be using is the Sakura Blade V2, which is a very rare, expensive item that I know not very many people probably have. But if you do have this, this is one of the best weapons to use in the entire game with Heavenly Restriction. Not only does it have a lot of good range attacks, it also has a very powerful dash through attack, and it has a very good V-spec as well. So you're going to be shredding pretty much everybody with this build. You have 7.9 thousand health with 2,600 mana, but the only problem is you have to have the Vanity Game Pass for this to be very effective, and you also have to have a very limited weapon, so I don't think that many people are probably going to be running this build. But anyways guys, let me know down below what you thought of this video. It was a lot of fun to show off my favorite Heavenly Restriction builds. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys all in my next Legends ReWritten video. Bye!